season 1's sneak peek trailer is showing Fantastic Four going to fight Dracula. Now, we had a bunch of leaks that told us that this was basically what's going to happen. There was one that I share about the 12 heroes that were going to get released, 4 of them being Fantastic Four, and there's so much speculation that those were going to be the first 4 being Fantastic Four. Now, 2 are going to be released right away at the start of season 1, and then apparently the other 2 are going to be released mid-season. However, there is going to be 1 new map and a very, very few balance changes. I think 5 are going to get hard adjusted, with 2 other heroes getting movement increases or move improvements. So honestly, not too many adjustments going into season 1 that I think I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more. Now, seeing this visual, understanding what's going on, because I read every single character's story, as they actually sneak peeked this. They actually teased this in all the character stories, or I shouldn't say that. In some of the characters, they did talk about Dracula taking over New York. Every hero has their own storyline and what they're a part of, but so many were talking about New York and their fight against Dracula. Now, are we going to resolve this in season 1? Definitely not. Just like how season 0, we never really talked too much about Doom. There was not a lot of interaction with Doom. If anything, the only way you got anything out of Doom specifically, or like first source to Doom, was by completing the full season pass. So, without knowing what's going on with season 1, because here's season 1, everyone can speculate what is going on in season 2 and season 3. Now, I think I can predict this, or I can have a good stab at it, because first off, Dracula's not going to be a playable character. All 4 characters we're going to get in season 1, it's going to be Fantastic Four. The reason why I can assume that is Doom, Spider-Weaver, and Null are all not playable characters. So that makes me assume that Dracula is not going to be a major stay in this fight. Now, I'm sure that people are going to be making references about fighting against him, but not directly, very similar to Doom. When we look at Loki, Hela, and Thor, all 3 of them playable characters, all 3 of them got into a major fight in the game as well in the story. So, we're not fighting Dracula. That makes me assume that we're not fighting to beat Dracula in season 1. We're just working our way to Dracula season 1. So that makes me assume that this first year, they're completely building the story of Marvel Rivals. So, what is going to be season 2? I think we're going to look more into Hydra. The reason why I think Hydra specifically for season 2 is they have a very interesting story with some interesting notes left behind that aren't resolved. So, they had the Hydra base mission, of course, but they have a comic book story talking about the chanting portal that they created. So people used the Winter Soldier, they used magic by chanting to create a portal across the dimension or cross space. I can't exactly remember what it is, but I think that's definitely going to be the big story of season 2, is some heroes fighting that at that base or doing something at that other dimension or other planet base. That's my expectation. Personally, I think Deadpool will be related to this, just because it's like a super soldier, and with the tanks, it really reminds me of like Deadpool's whole backstory. So I'm not saying this is where Deadpool gets made, but maybe they're using Deadpool one way or another. Just what I'm thinking. Season 3, however, I think that one is going to jumpstart a lot of the other stories, right? Season 2, Season 1 just set up. Season 3 is a catalyst event, very similar to Season 0. So I think we're going to get Thor and Hulk back to the hellscape they were from via Ultron. So I think this one, they're going to use a hellscape map where you're going to be moving cargo like a very sophisticated machine that Ultron needs for them to time travel. I believe that is what the storyline is going to be for season 3. Then Thor gets back to fight his brother and sister. Hulk is back to join the fight. And we'll see what happens there. And I know this is huge speculation. There's not a lot of fact behind this besides the character leaks. And I'm not even using every single character because then that'll just be too much planning and connecting the dots out of nothing but just general leaks that we got. But using what we got from season 1 in this visual and the whole story that we were given in season 0, that is what I'm going to say. I think it's a pretty good guess, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Peace.